battery is on super low. So that's also going to limit us today, which is great. Hey Google, set a timer for 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes, starting now.
What's going on? It's E-Love, and I'm here trying to figure some things out and make some things happen. And it's going to be a really good quick little recap of my week. It has been greatness. Leaving the previous week, I was sick. So I was like overcoming that. And I was really proud of myself when I'm sick. I had a wonderful, amazing summer, a hot boy summer, where I got to just go out and experience things, hang out with my friends, go to the clubs, drinks, try new things. And it was just all great stuff. And I'm so glad. But even with all those good things experienced in life, everything does have its consequences. So it ended up, I was fighting off getting sick for like weeks, and finally it hit me hardcore last week, ended up getting the flu and stuff like that. So immune system was compromised. But I also like it when I get sick. When I get sick, I tend to do some reflections on, say, Eddie, what was that diet looking like? What was those activities? What was that exercise looking at? Who was I hanging around? Because these can all give me insights onto what was making me sick and things I need to tweak in my routine or my habits to make sure I can recover quickly as possible, but also come out stronger on the opposite side of being sick. And that is exactly what happened this week. I came into this week blazing, just being really appreciative of me not being sick, meaning like when I was sick, it was just like, oh my gosh. I tried the whole thing where people was like, oh, you're sick, rest, do nothing. That Friday, I laid on my couch and I did nothing as instructed, and it was really hard. And I also felt like I felt worse from just laying there. So that next week, I mean, I can't be down for too long. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I'm trying to get a lot of things done. So I was like, that next day, this is what it is. I woke up at 2 o'clock, I cleaned my house, went to sleep, rest, then woke back up, did my homework, went to sleep, rest, then woke up and did some work, went to sleep, rest, and then got back up and continued that cycle from Saturday into Sunday. I was happy. I got stuff done, but I was still able to rest. And then I went into this week. I had training in person. And so I was like, wonderful. I did actually feel a lot better. Still just had some congestion and stuff like that. But I pushed through it. I had my healthy. I listened to people, and one of the trainees I have, they recommend doing the ginger, lemon, and garlic and hot water. And that is what I lived by all last week. And it made me feel so good. And I was eating healthy and everything like that. So that was all just amazing. But even with being super productive, it came with, by this Friday, I was exhausted. Your boy gave all that he could give. He incorporated the gym. So even though I was sick, I can go to the gym. So now what I did last week is I just spent 15 minutes doing cardio during lunch, and then after work, I did another 15 minutes, giving me 30 minutes a day, which is great. We'll talk about that a lot more. Like, my fitness is really complicated right now because I'm working, school, and then trying to be a grown-up, paying my bills, cleaning my house, and then also hanging out with my friends and managing relationships and stuff like that. So a lot going on. I'm trying to get this 10 minutes. We got 6 minutes and 30 seconds. We're gonna keep this under 10 minutes. And so that was great. And then, oh my gosh. So I'm in-person training now, and this is probably year number 13 that I've been training. I started my training journey, I would say, technically in like high school, because I was in JROTC, and then that led into the military and also just training people as well there. And then it led to me separating and getting to the financial industry, where I'm also a trainer. This is the first time I get to focus on one thing at a time. Normally I'm designing, managing, and facilitating, and I'm just focused on facilitating right now, and it's been a really, really powerful thing for me recently. Normally I feel like some people call it overthinking. I call it I'm a strategist and I'm a thinker. So I'm constantly looking up ways to run different scenarios, thinking through things very intentionally. I want to understand every part of the process. And so this can be really exhausting for me and hinder me from being present. And after being with the company I'm with now for a year, I'm finally to the point where I'm facilitating and I'm present when I'm actually training. And it's so crazy because whenever I'm training, I'm just training. And then when I get out of training or I stop training, I realize like I'm like, Eddie, that's how I knew I was sick, because I was like, whenever I would come out of training, I would just be exhausted, or like just mentally, like everything would hurt and stuff like that. But then when I start training again, I'm like so present in the moment. It feels so good to be present and to be engaged with people. And oh my God, I love it so much. It is a euphoric feeling for me right now. Like I am on heaven whenever I'm training. And I love that I'm here, because I'm naturally an introvert. I've had anxiety, depression, and all these other good things and speaking insecurities and just insecurities in general. And this has led me to being like, I'm at the point where I am present when training. I never thought that I would be here. And it's just such a great thing for me feeling. So really great with facilitation, and I'm excited for my next roles. After facilitating, will be going more focused on design, and then leading more into just managing, so coaching and stuff like that is where my long-term goal is. Outside of work, I've attentive. I love learning new things, and I'm trying my best to keep my life simple, but it's simple. It's simple compared to what my life used to be. But so I'm also listening to audiobooks. I can't read books right now because I'm in school, so I'm reading textbooks. So in order for me to still get my development as far as intentional development on things I'm working on, I'm reading this wonderful book called Bittersweet, and we'll talk more about that. But it has just been a affirming book to read, because I'm very emotional and I am very aware of things. I'm a thinker, and I also feel a lot, somewhat of a empath. And I used to always I'm always drawn to sad music or just intense emotions. And I used to think that I was broken for this. And this book has just given me a new perspective on who I am, as far as me being able to appreciate the fact that I do love sad music or melancholic music. And it's just been, the reality is like, no matter what you go through in life, it's going to come with its bitter moments. Like every moment has some good things and some bad things attached to it. Especially when those bad things happen, those bad things can motivate you quite a bit to, if you turn those bad things and make it into something beautiful, into art, find ways like, okay, I've had a struggle. How can I now help other people? And I think that's where a lot of my motives and my motives and goals have stemmed from. It's always, how can I minimize unnecessary suffering from my own life and the people's lives around me? And this book has just been so fire in the way that I perceive things, because I used to think like, I want to be happy. I was on that happy kick, like with like many people. I just want to be happy all the time. And that's, the reality is the happy emotion is very temporary and fleeting very quickly. But when you can find the beauty in everything, I enjoy life so much more with the bad things and those good things combined. Fire. So that book I'm reading, and then so my week overall has been great, super productive. And I'm also, one day I'm gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about my Instagram. We're gonna talk about just YouTube and my motives and my goals in life. But like, I've just uploaded a whole bunch of videos to YouTube just to motivate me to continue to get started, continue to moving forward instead of letting that fear hold me back, not being perfect. So I'm excited to talk about all those things, and we're gonna see where this goes. This will be this first intentional video to upload right now, as unedited as possible. But I am really excited. I'm figuring some things out, making things happen. I hope that this whole community in general will help me figure those things out, and we can also motivate each other. That is the goal here. And then also to just get this information out there for myself to see and I can reflect on these things and see my own growth. So we're here for it. And so with that, we're gonna close it out. We got 1 minute left, Eddie. Let's get it. All right, this is E-Love. I'm here trying to figure some things out and make some things happen. I am so glad that you watched this video. And thank you for your time. And I look forward to talking to you and seeing you more. I don't know how this is complicated.